Hello everybody, I hope everybody's good. Right. Hello! Hello everybody, Hassan al-Badri with you, atheist and naturalist. And today we're going to answer or refute or debunk or just, I don't know. What's his name? Ravi Zacharias, the guy's name. He's actually from Indian origins. He's a Christian apologetic from Indian origins, from India. And I noticed today, really, I was watching his